But to go along with that, adding to all of this, at the same time, keep that in mind, the same time this took place, we have a dock workers strike that hit. A dock workers strike. Basically, everywhere from Maine to Texas, the East Coast, is at a halt right now, is completely stalled. No supplies as of right now. They are officially on strike. So we can see here, dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas began walking picket lines early Tuesday. They literally started midnight of Tuesday. And a strike over wages and automation that could reignite inflation and cause shortages of goods if it goes on for more than a few weeks. The contract between the ports and about 45,000 members, I'm hearing that it's more 47,000, of the International Longshoremen Association expired at midnight. And even though progress was reported in talks on Monday, the workers went on strike. A strike affecting 36 ports is the first by the union since 1977. It says workers began picketing at the port of Philadelphia shortly after midnight, walking in a circle at a rail crossing outside the port and chanting "No work without a fair contract." Which, if you know anything about these guys, they make roughly anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000 a year. Just keep that in mind. Look at how many people are barely making it, and look at what they're making. Interesting. The union had message boards on the side of the trucks reading "Automation hurts families." ILA, which is the International Longshoremen Association, stands for job protection. Goes on to say the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents the ports, said Monday evening that both sides had moved off their previous wage offers. But when picket lines went up just after midnight, it was apparent that no deal had been reached. The union's opening offer in the talks was for 77% pay raise over the 6-year life of the contract, with President Harold Daggett saying it's necessary to make up for inflation and years of small raises. We will get to Daggett here in a second. ILA members make a base salary of about $81,000 per year, but some can pull in over $200,000 annually with large amounts of overtime. But Monday evening, the alliance said it had increased its offer to 50% raises over 6 years, and it pledged to keep limits on automation in place from the old contract. The union wants a complete ban on automation. It wasn't clear just how far apart both sides are. So with this, I'll just tell you straight up, this has nothing to do with wages. This has nothing to do with automation. This is entirely manufactured. And I'll show you some stuff of why that is. So let's just go here. At the same time that Helene annihilated all what it did in that area, destroying all the roads, the supply roads and everything, to add on to that, now the supplies won't even be coming in. Food won't be coming in. Construction supplies won't be coming in. All these products that are needed to rebuild as well as take care of these people will no longer be coming in because of what's going on with this. So we've got a double whammy when it comes to supply chain as well as what's going on with the hurricane at the same time. So again, call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. I don't believe in coincidence. Also, when it comes to unions, I am one of those people that I am 100% completely against. I've been for my entire life, and that's never going to change, against unions. They are a complete sham. It's like homeowners associations. It's one giant con job. And through the research that I've done when it comes to unions, and I've looked at unions for a long time, usually unions get infiltrated or are started from mafia organizations. Literally mobsters run these things. And it's the same case of the ILA that we got going on here. Let's take a look, shall we? This is coming from July 28th of 2004. Union big busted. A powerful waterfront union official has been nabbed on extortion charges for allegedly teaming up with the mob to try and force his way into top positions with the International Longshoremen Association. Hey, look who it is. Harold Daggett. Didn't we just read something about Harold Daggett? That's right. He's now the president of the ILA. Interesting. Harold Daggett, 58, an alleged Genovese crime family associate, was accused of conspiring to shake down the ILA International's president. Daggett rakes in more than $460,000 a year as an assistant general organizer of the ILA International and president of its New Jersey local. That was in 2004. He makes more now. I'll show that just in a second. Investigators arrested him at his lavish home in Sparta, New Jersey yesterday. He was released on $350,000 bail in Brooklyn federal court. The feds say that the Genovese crime family made a push to line up Daggett as head of the ILA in 1999 as successor to President John Bowers. A veiled threat was delivered to Bowers during a meeting with a Genovese soldier, the feds claim. In testimony before the Waterfront Commission in 2003, Bowers quoted a wise guy as telling him, "We hope you stay forever, but if you ever leave, I would kill to see Harold Daggett become president." While Daggett never landed the top ILA job, he did now. A federal indictment charges that he teamed up with the mob to land his position as an assistant general organizer. So before we go further, we can see that we've got some connections here. Not only the ILA to mob going all the way back to 1999, but we also have connections of Daggett to the mobsters as well. Let's keep going. Let's go to a different article regarding this. Blue collar credentials. Mr. Daggett is a figure whose long union career has been shrouded in controversy. A third-generation ILA member, the longshoreman has worked for the union for 57 years, becoming the international president in July of 2011. So he's been there for a while. Despite his eminent blue-collar credentials, the union baron earned $728,000 last year from the ILA, plus another $173,000 as president emeritus of a local union branch. Politico reported. Daggett previously owned a 76-foot yacht called the Obsession that has been spotted by his members riding in a Bentley, according to the New York Times. This dude does not get to the position that he's in and have all of this stuff and all this money without having connections to those who truly run the union, which is the mob. And he's taking orders from the mob, which means this has nothing to do with wage increase. This has nothing to do with automation. This has everything to do with whoever is telling him what to do. Let's keep going, though. It says the Justice Department, which has reportedly lost 2 cases against Mr. Daggett. So the Justice Department lost 2 cases. You guys think that's an accident? You guys think he's innocent? I don't think so. Has accused him of being an associate of the Genovese crime family, one of the infamous 5 families of the U.S. Mafia. Charged with racketeering in 2005, Mr. Daggett took the witness stand and portrayed himself as a mob target, despite evidence against him from a turncoat mafia enforcer saying he was under the mob's control, the New York Times reported. During the trial, one of Mr. Daggett's co-defendants, a renowned mobster named Lawrence Reese, disappeared. His decomposing body was found in the trunk of a car outside a New Jersey diner several weeks later, with the killing still unsolved. Guys, this isn't a movie. This isn't a plot of a TV show. This is real. The mafia exists, and they run stuff like this, and they have people taken out. They blackmail judges. They threaten the families of the judicial people, the prosecutors, and all this stuff to allow things to continue to go in the way that they go. They make offers that you cannot refuse. And I'm not saying that as a joke. Obviously, I'm making a reference, but this is really how it operates. And we've got a plenty of evidence here that's saying this is smelling strange. Says, despite his union serving as a historic symbol of the grip of organized crime on union members, as depicted in the 1954 film On the Waterfront, Mr. Daggett was acquitted in both cases. The union leader has previously criticized the Waterfront Commission, set up to combat mafia control of the port, calling the allegations of mob influence a bull excrement and a dark, ugly attack on Italian Americans. Now, this isn't the only family that's been mob family that's been associated when it comes to the ILA and the Waterfront Commission and everything that's going on. If we go back to the New York Waterfront Commission of the New York State, we can see a this was in 2018, longshoremen's application withdrawn from prejudice following charges of organized crime association. So this adds more evidence to the fact that this thing is entirely controlled by the mob. It says, today, the commission accepted the request of Anthony Pancini III, 43 of Brooklyn, New York, to withdraw from prejudice his application for registration as a longshoreman as a referral of the International Longshoremen Association, Local 1814. He had faced 49 counts at an administrative hearing violating the Waterfront Commission Act. And basically what it says is the notice of hearing included allegations that Pancini had associated with the following career offenders and was convicted racketeers. So he was connected with Anthony Sonny Cinconi, who's a part of the Gambino crime family. He was also his father, Anthony Pancini, an association of the Gambino crime family, who pled guilty earlier to the U.S. District Court in New York. He is also connected to Joseph Scoops Licata, who is a part of the Philadelphia Bruno Scarfo crime family, as well as Jerry Balzano, who is a part of the DeCavalcante crime family. And if we keep going, basically the applicant was alleged to have committed fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation by falsely testifying during a sworn interview that he never heard his father's name in connection with the Local 1814 or the Waterfront situation that's going on there. And if we jump down, it says, facing 49 counts of violating the Waterfront Commission Act, Pancini requested the withdrawal of his prejudice of the application for registration. Today, the commission accepted the request, thereby barring Pancini from working on the ports of the New York Harbor. So we've got so many connections to different mob families, as well as connections of the mafia running the ILA, in control of the Waterfront Commission, with placing people in hierarchy levels within the ports to get this stuff done. Bribery, threatening, blackmail. We don't know exactly the details of what's going on when it comes to the justice system, offing off informants and co-defendants and all these people, finding them in the trunks of cars. And this is all in connection to what's going on with the ports. And this is all connected to who now sits as the president who called this strike, Daggett, who has many connections to the mob as well. Now, this next part, people aren't going to like me for it, but hey, this is what's going on. Daggett, who's connected to the mob, who called the strike, who's the president of the ILA, also has another connection, which I find very interesting considering the timing of what's going on. Oh, snap. Would you look at that? Coming straight from International Longshoremen Association, their website, says the ILA President Harold Daggett asked ILA members to pray for former President Donald Trump and victims at Saturday's Pennsylvania rally. Requires productive meeting with last November with Trump. This was posted on their website July 15th of this year, 2024. Says ILA President Harold Daggett asked ILL members to pray for former President Donald Trump and victims at Saturday's Pennsylvania rally. Recalls productive meeting last November with Trump at Mar-a-Lago and their talks about the threat of automation. Says the ILA President Daggett expressed relief that the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump was unsuccessful and called on all ILL members to pray for the victims at the Saturday rally. And if we jump down, it says ILA President Daggett enjoys a long relationship with Donald Trump going back decades in New York City. Both Trump and Daggett are the same age and were both from Queens, New York. In late November of 2023, former President Trump invited the ILA president to meet with him in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. Fascinating, especially with what we got going on and the threats to take down the economy. All the news outlets are reporting this is a giant loss for the Democrats. Do with that what you will. I just find that oddly convenient timing with that stuff. And if you guys don't know, Daggett had an interview recently, and he had some pretty scathing words to say in quite a mafia-type bravado. Check it out.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
In today's world, he'll cripple you. You guys think it's about wages and automation? That sure sounds like somebody part of the mafia sitting there with his big gold chain, his bling all over his hands over there talking about, I'll cripple you. Yeah, something stinks regarding this. Convenient timing for not only the hurricane, but also the political stuff that's going on and his connections to the mob and the Trump, his threats towards us. This has nothing to do with wages. This has nothing to do with automation. There's something else going on. Now, we don't know what's going to happen a week from now. We don't know what's going to happen 2 weeks from now. We don't know what's going to happen 3 days from now. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they could get something signed, maybe shift in a direction. We don't know. Or it could never get signed. Okay.